8:30 at University United Methodist and 11:15 at Chapel of the Cross. Perhaps this is due to my inability to make decisions, or more likely, it's the wonderful community that I found at both. On September 5th at University Methodist, Pastor Carl's sermon was on Jeremiah 18:6, God being the potter and we the clay. The greatest part about the sermon was that a potter had been brought in, and I was able to watch the process of clay being formed into a vase. At the end of the service, we were given a piece of clay to shape as we saw fit. While the sermon was powerful for me at the time, as I have begun to reflect back on this year, the image of the potter shaping clay has been stuck in my mind. I am used to doing and being on my own, having my own room, and making decisions for myself. That is why collaboration has been so important to me. This year, I chose to be part of a community where I am rarely alone, and where I make decisions knowing it will affect the 7 people I live with. But over the course of the year, I have experienced the true power of working with and for others. Through the Johnson Intern Program, I have learned how many hands serve to shape and mold the clay that is me. Just as the potter holds the clay in his hands, so I have been put in all of your hands. You have shaped and molded me. You have poked, prodded, challenged, and inspired. And in the process, I have changed shapes. I have never experienced as much support and love as I have this year. Through Susan, Ebbeth, Susanna, our chaplain, and Shauna, my mentor, I have experienced open ears and hearts, and even a Duke basketball game. Leona Witchard and the Chases graciously supplied us with food throughout the year. Without knowing it, you and your generosity held me up when I thought I might fall. All of you have been God's light for me, shining in the darkness, and helping me to find and live into my authentic self. You have been God's hands engulfing and shaping my pot. Well, you have all been potters for me, so I have tried to be that for others. At Central Park School for Children, I have experienced a true joy for learning, as students are celebrated for who they are, and those students are able to use their interests in the process of learning. I have always had a passion for books, but my time at Central Park has given me an opportunity to put that passion into action. In my job as a librarian, I have opened up new worlds for my students in the books that they have read, and in a way, I hope to have helped mold them into the people they are busy becoming. But by far the greatest shaping and molding has been done at 110 Lindsay Street. Through living with each other, we have fully embraced the idea of collaboration rather than competition. Our community service praxis project represented the collaborative nature of our group, and every meal and parakaleo shared was a chance to open up our hearts and minds to each other and to possibilities we never could have imagined on our own. In my fellow roommates, I have found an undeniable passion and talent for cooking, a spot-on impersonation of Sarah Palin, a joy of knowledge, an ability to be joyful through everything, a calm and understanding nature, an open heart, and my 12-year-old self reflected right back at me. The greatest joy has been our ability to share these qualities with each other and use them to make ourselves a stronger community. One of the things about clay is that to be molded, the clay in a way has to be ready and willing to be changed. You may never know how much I have changed over the year. I am not yet sure that I do. But I can say that my mind has been expanded, my views have changed, and I have never laughed as much as I have this year. There have been countless good times, from pie fights to watching Glee, and our trips to Hendersonville, Washington, D.C., Boston, and Charleston. Starting as 7 strangers and becoming best friends has shown me that just under the surface of each of us, there is so much to find and appreciate. Who would have thought that Susan had castrated a goat, or that Stephen Elkins Williams used to be in a rock band? This is the clay that was given to me back in September. And as you can no doubt see, the clay that is my life is still being formed. And I don't yet know how it will turn out. But I thank each of you for helping me to give it shape and life, and for convincing me that, as others have said, I cannot do it alone. I need this community. At the end of one of the Methodist affirmation confessions of faith. It says, God is with us. We are not alone. Thanks be to God. So that is what I take away from this year. You are not alone. I am not alone. In the famous words of Troy Bolton, we're all in this together. Thanks be to God for that.